What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, look, y'all, I'm in the content creation world. So, I want to address this topic. This has been a topic going on for a little minute now. Basically, people saying that streaming is harder than working a 9 to 5. Let me be very clear. No, it's not. No, it is not. I'll say this. It's hard to build a following on anything like YouTube and Twitch and all that type of stuff. It's hard to build followings up. It can be hard, especially when you're not doing like reaction type content and all of that. It's hard to do that, right? Most of the streamers, they all do reaction content and all that. It's you gotta put in hours of dedication to build up an audience and a fan base and all of that. Yes, it takes time to grow a channel. Yes, streaming takes hours and hours on end to do. But most people who stream, they're doing something that they love to do, right? I repeat that. Most streamers are doing something that they love to do. Working a 9 to 5, you know how many people work a 9 to 5 and hate what they do every single day? But they have to do this because this is the lane that pays the bills, right? This is what will probably pay the most for them, even though they would rather do something else. This is something that makes sure the rent is paid, insurance is paid, and food is on the table, and clothes on their kids' back, and car note is paid, and groceries are brought into the house, and so they have to work this job, but they hate it every single day. They work for a company where management is not understanding at all. Management is horrible. They treat everybody at the company like they are robots and not actual people. People are worked to the very end of the hour. They work nearly 24/7. Listen, I know how that feel. I know how it feel to work for an employer that work the shit out of you to the point where when you get off of work, it takes hours to try to decompress. And by the time you decompress, you realize the day is over with. I got to go to bed because I got to do this all over again. Most streamers, they working from home, right? People don't know. You see a person waking up 4 a.m. just to get ready for work every single day. Got to go out into the cold weather to go do what they got to do. Some people drive in a car. Some people on the bus, on a train. Yeah, fam. People got to get time off. Most streamers, when they killing it, they got their own schedule. They their own boss. Yeah, it take a while to get to that point. It does for some people. It take a little minute. But when you streaming and when you a streamer where you dedicating all your time to streaming, you your own boss. You don't got to ask nobody for time off. In certain jobs, you got to accrue PTO. You feel me? It's times where you ain't got it and you ain't got no PTO and your child is sick and your boss is really not understanding because your boss don't have children, or they really don't give a fuck. They got kids and they don't care at all. They just care about results being shown production in a company. That is a different type of life, man. And I think people don't understand. They underestimate that. That is a whole different struggle. So I know people, again, who get up every single day going to a job they can't stand. And when they get into the job, after the job is over with, they want to just shut down from the world. You know what I mean? I've been at a job where I told y'all before, I get off work and I just want to just go for a walk. I would go on walks around the neighborhood just to clear my mind and try to just come down from a stressful ass day. When I get off work, my head is ringing, headache galore, because I've been working to the bone gristle, working hard as hell, trying to figure out solutions for a company that's working the hell out you, working beyond your 8-hour workday to try to meet certain metrics, try to make sure the company stay in good faith, in good favor. And all you get is a pat on the back. Good job, buddy. Good job. Thank you. You ain't getting no bonus. You feel me? Your raise is barely coming. Like, people really go through this, man. So I would never, I'm not a streamer. For real, I live stream every now and then, but I'm not a streamer. I'm not like Kai Cenat and I Show Speed, any one of them individuals and none of that. I'm not one of those guys. Is that his name? I Show Speed? I think it is. I haven't really watched his content, but I know my daughter. She put me up on game about a lot of the popular streamers and stuff. Yeah, but I live stream, but I'm not nowhere near like academics or none of them, right? But as a person who's in the field of content creation, I could never act like what I'm doing is so much harder than a person working a 9 to 5. Are you crazy? Like, no. Again, I've watched my mother get up in the morning working a job that's so stressful. She wake up playing gospel music every day to try to get her in that mind frame to get through the day. Wake up in the morning playing gospel music, as she getting ready. You know what I mean? Trying to just get her mind right because she know when she walk into that job, she don't know what the hell she finna get hit with today. Having your boss change, one boss being really respectful boss, a boss who is really approachable, a boss who's really appreciative of his staff, to go into another boss who don't give a damn about the staff, who all their whole personality trait is being smart and being a hard worker. Those individuals are really some of the most messed up individuals. People whose whole personality trait is being smart and being a hard worker, a lot of them are they are not cool to be around. They're not good people. They're not empathetic at all to anything. Because all they know is work to the bone gristle and be smart. That's all they know how to do. And you working from you went from one person who was caring, who was an empathetic boss, who was a boss who really was appreciative of the staff, to going to a boss who don't give a damn. Production. Keep stacking high amount of works on you. High amounts of work on you. Pushing it to you. Stacks of work to you. Just so they can say, I'm getting all I can get from you in 8 hours of the day. Right? You meeting all your metrics, you killing it, but keep piling work on you just to say, I'm making sure that to tell my mama, she works and she earning this paycheck. Fuck out of here. You feel me? And like, my mama was in there like, man, listen. And she got switched to another person right out a little bit afterwards. Thank God. Because my mama was like, oh, no. You ain't punking me up in here. But yeah, doing that because she knew my mother had a family. Had children. My mom had that on display at her desk. This woman didn't have that. All she knew how to do was be smart and to work hard. She was mad my mama carried an air of joy on her. My mom is a people person. Anybody know my mama? And so I saw my mama deal with that. My mama was low key. I would only see it when I came home from school. I was in college at the time. And my sister and them telling me certain stuff. My mama ain't really bringing it to me for real until after it was all over with, when she went to a whole nother company. And after all that, she told me that years after that. She didn't tell me until I came into my first corporate job. And she explained it because I'm trying to explain the dynamics of working amongst people who are not people person. They're not a people person. I remember working a job where I didn't have to directly work with this woman, thank God. I remember working a job with a woman who was an asshole to the highest nature. I'm talking about, she was a person. You ever work for a person? Whenever you ask a question, they respond to you in a condescending manner, like you're annoying them. Like, why don't you know this? They showed you one time, and when you need clarification, they getting annoyed. Now, luckily, I didn't work with this person one-on-one, but I saw this person going around working with other people and how she talked to them as if they were incompetent, as if they were dummies. And I'm talking about people who are much older than her. I saw a woman make a grown man cry at my job, right? And he was much older than her, telling basically, she come around, what's the disconnect? Shit like that. When you streaming, you ain't got to deal with stuff like that. You feel me? You don't got to deal with a person, because I'm telling y'all, at these jobs, some of these bosses and managers can be bullies. They see that you're afraid of them and they play on that shit in order for you to do everything they want you to do. They make you afraid to take off work. They make you afraid to just, to to mess up in any way. They make you afraid as if your job is going to be on the line and you're going into a high pressure situation. You got people who sit at jobs every day being micromanaged by people all day long. And nobody works good when they being somebody over their shoulder all day long. You're afraid to mess up. You're afraid to make mistakes. I've seen this. When you streaming, you ain't got to deal with none of that, man. Nobody hovering over your shoulder trying to make sure you're not making a mistake. And when you do one thing wrong, they talking to you condescending. They talking to you like you're a child. They're talking to you like you're their child. You know, when the parents talk to their own children a certain type of way, it can be very, like I had you and I can say whatever I want to say. Right? And that's how some of these bosses come off. So you can never compare streaming to working a 9 to 5, man. No. I've heard of people getting written up for putting their kids first sometimes. Because they had to do something with their child. And the boss don't got no kids, ain't understanding. Y'all, I told y'all I worked a job, bro. I will never forget this. I told this in my other video. I worked a job. I'm working from home. And my son was just born. This is during COVID time. My mama working, everybody in my family working. Nobody can watch my son. My son's mother, she at work in office every day, right? I got to watch him while working a job where it's high production based, right? Got to meet certain metrics. Got to be on it. My daughter is at home with me doing virtual learning because this is when COVID first started, right? Doing virtual learning. She's asking me questions. She not understanding things, and the teachers can't get to her immediately because the virtual teachers were having a hard time adjusting to that virtual learning setup. And the kids were too. My daughter asking me questions about math homework. They doing math in a different way. I ain't did it before when I was young. I'm doing analytical work all day long. I'm feeding my son, changing his diapers. He can't talk. He can't walk. He can't do none of that. He can't do nothing. My son was a little itty bitty baby. He can't do nothing for himself. He can't go and feed himself. You know what I'm saying? He can't walk and walk around and play at that time, at that age. He was a little itty bitty baby. And I remember telling my boss, cause he yo, I see it's taking you a little long, do this, that, and the third, and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, I got my kids with me. And he tells me, I get it, man. Just go ahead. Sometimes you got to close the door on the kids and try to lock in. I'm looking like, close the door. Dog, ain't no babysitter, no nanny over here with me. I'm in here by myself. You feel me? My son's mother at work, she got to work. To do what we got to do in it, she got to go to work. Ain't no option for her to stay at the crib. So all of that, maternity leave up, sir. So ain't no closing the door. My daughter need me for help because, hey, virtual learning, my teacher don't have time to answer this question right now. Dad, can you show me how to do this math? You feel me? Now I got to help my daughter. I don't want to have no bad grades. So ain't no hiding from these kids, bro. You feel me? Streaming, you ain't got to deal with nothing like that. Worst you got to do is, hey, I'm going to put off the stream till the kids sleep. If you got kids. Oh, I'm going to put off the stream until, until the kids chill out settle down from having a good day. But other than that, man, you ain't got to deal with a boss that ain't understanding of your lifestyle because they got a lifestyle where they got a nanny to help with kids, or their wife is a stay-at-home mom because they make enough money where their wife can be a stay-at-home mom and don't got to work, and you ain't in that position because you got bills to pay, you got stuff to do, you got all that, you got tuition to pay. Come on, man. So I would never in my life, in a million years, say streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. Are you crazy? Are you silly? Are you slow? Or are you just willfully ignorant? Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out here, y'all. Peace.